subscribe, share, hit up some more people to help on YouTube. And Carl Champion will be on Instagram. What is this? Espresso, famous espresso conversation. Watching the sunrise with you. So, here is a cup to you wherever you are around the world. So, I hope you're doing good. Send those positive vibes and keep flowing and keep going for your dreams. You gotta hate it and naysayer, fucking excuse my language, but forget them. You don't need them. It's your business. I love you. Keep going. So, like anyone that calls himself out on their own bullshit, self-accountability, you know, like what I'm doing right here. And if you don't, cool. Either way, there's me to stop by. Anyone, welcome back, anyone. So I'm gonna get off the camera now. Just let you look at that sunrise and enjoy that moment. And I'm certified recognized shaman. Here we go. Say, send those beautiful energy. Chocolate, send that healing energy to PADRE feel right now. I'm sending that healing energy to encode this video with that healing energy while they're watching the sunset. And anything, I mean, with any of their dreams manifest, it has to manifest. Because I'm going to deal with it as well. So it is. Thank you, Father. Okay. I'm going to let you look at that. I'll talk to you later. Take a deep breath. Feel that. Just look at that ocean. I'm in agreement with anyone that's watching this video. Hey, any of your issues, any of your problems, go into that water right now. It's getting purified. It's getting cleansed. It's dissolving. And what am I putting back? More unconditional love. More high vibes. More golden abundance in every area of life. But it's a golden abundance of you. Remember, it all starts with consciousness. Whatever you want in your life. It's a thought. Then it becomes things. But what are you telling yourself every day? Be compassionate with yourself. I'm learning to do it too. It's not easy. Have that self-love for you. When no one believes in you, you gotta believe in you. That's not easy, especially in this world. Yeah, I'm still working on my pattern of overgiving because I got a huge heart. But I learned to put up boundaries and not feel guilty, not feel shame when you don't want to do something. Don't let anyone guilt you or shame you into doing something because they want that, for their alternative motives. Let's keep it real. Because people don't realize that. Time is a superpower. Boundaries. I'm not talking about being a bitch, not that at all. No, I'm talking about having those boundaries though. Kind, yes, a boundary, but you won't be taken advantage of. And that's not easy to do in this thing because you got a big heart, and some people come in your life to just take advantage of you, and then you know what it is, and then you let them roll. Other people will be there for the long haul, but you got to make that easy discernment with this. Just look at that sunrise, like wherever you go, wherever you are. I don't know if you're in a cold place right now. I bring the beach to you. That's what I do, because I know I've been there too. Watching these videos, when I wanted to be there, I couldn't be there for circumstances, whatever it was. When I take care of my dad, he passed from liver cancer. I couldn't be there, but I can be here. And this is my win, to look at this every day. What is your win? Well, first of all, let me give blessings that I'm alive, that I can use this video to inspire someone to go through greatness. I am the king of life. That's not bullshit, that's the truth. Anyone knew 626 blood transfusions, H1. I have these sticky needles coming 12 hours a night, 6 days a week. I never need sympathy, never will. I put that positive belief in my spine, I'd be cured. That's why I'm so confident in what I do, because I live in it. So don't let it, and many people, let me be clear, many people say it would never happen. A lot of haters, and then those same people come, oh, I knew you could do it. Yeah, right. Don't talk to me, you knew you could do it. They weren't there. But that's okay, you live and you learn. The greatest teacher is life, experience. You're great on your path. Don't be the hater. And if you're not where you want to be, change your thinking. Change yourself. And then stuff, great things will happen. Most people never want to change themselves. That 100. if you're on this channel though, you're one of the 1% that really want to expand and grow and really look inside of you and what bullshit you have going on in yourself. When I'm doing this video, I'm talking to myself as well. Not just, this is my perspective, you don't have to agree with it. I'm not telling you what to think or say. I'm just here to help the ones that want to go to their dreams, to know they can achieve it, because I'm living proof you can. So don't give up. Just look at that sunset and enjoy it. Excuse me, not sunset, sunrise. Oh, maybe I'll be here and I'm gonna do a video at sunset too, because I've never done that, so that's a new thing for me. And then I'll share it with you guys. Be whoever you want to be in life, not whoever your family wants you to be. I love you, parents, and I know you want the best for your kids. But look, I'm not gonna tell anyone how to raise your kid. I'm just gonna say I would encourage. I don't even have kids. I have nothing. Eventually, that's what I want. And that's what I have. What I'm saying is, let them know that they can do anything in life. And then you watch those kids. Those are the dreamers. Those are the ones that can create the new adventures of life that wouldn't have been. And look at those birds flying. Yeah, do that. Fly to your greatness. Any messages, guiding angels, spirit guides that you want me to convey on this video, use me as a clear channel for someone to believe in themselves. Don't get caught up in the celebrity thing, like, oh, that girl has a better butt, or this girl has a great thing, or that guy has all this muscle. Love who you are at the core. And remember, you can always work out to change your body the way you want it. But it does take discipline, and it does take hard work. Remember, what's your belief also about money? For me, money comes to me without effort, and that's what it does. And that's what I believe. Whatever is for you. It's just a vibration. Get on that vibration of abundance. Abundance is all forms, not just monetary. That's what people get caught up. And I learned this from experience. If you're looking for the house to fulfill you, if you're looking for the car to fulfill you, that relationship to fulfill you, you're still going to be not fulfilled inside. But don't take my word for anything. Try it for yourself. That's the best experience I could say. I'm proud of myself. I unconditionally love myself. All the parts of me that I don't want to see, I'm loving that too. So I can look reflection of myself. So I can just be a better human being on this earth. When I pass, I just say, did I make you laugh? Did I put joy out there? Then that's all I was here to do. God saved me for someone else, not for me. I'm talking about God said to me, whatever you believe or don't believe, that's your business. And for intelligence, source, whatever you want to call it. But something's running that ocean. Something's making the ocean move. Something's making the rain come down. I'm not saying for sure. No, I don't know. Obviously, that'd be a lie. I don't know. But heaven is that high place of me, inside of me. Oh, and that reminds me of this book that I got. I'm going to read some, because I wanted to do it on my birthday, but I forgot. So, I'm going to read some from it. It's called, this is the first time I'm actually reading it too. And here, As a Man Thinketh, the original 1902 edition, The Wisdom of James Allen. He was a famous poet. I don't even know, maybe I'm channeling poetry. I don't usually do that. This is even at the beginning of the book. I'm going to read it. Alright, here we go. Alright, here we go. Thank you for bearing with me. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. I appreciate every single one of you subscribers. I appreciate all you haters. I'm sending love to all you haters. It's fun. You can do it too. That's your choice. Haters choose to hate. They can choose to love. Instead, they choose that. Hey, that's neither wrong right. That's what's good for them. Dad taught me, hate destroys you. It doesn't destroy the other person. So my dad said, never hate. And that's what I live by. Never hate. Dislike, sure, but never hate. Because it's only going to eat you up. This is in the beginning of the book, the first thing before you even start. This is powerful. Mind is the master power that molds and makes. And man is mind, and evermore he takes, the tool of thought, and shaping what he wills, brings forth 1,000 joys, or can bring forth 1,000 ills. He thinks in secret, and it comes to pass. Environment is but his looking glass. What does that mean? You're in experience that you're living right now. You don't like it? Change yourself. Change your thinking. Say this, metanoia. What is that? It's a Greek word. Think another thought. So I'll read it again, because that was powerful. Mind is the master power that molds and makes. And man is mind, and evermore he takes. The tool of thought, and shaping what he wills, bring forth 1,000 joys, or can bring forth 1,000 ills. He thinks in secret, and it comes to pass. Environment, what is looking glass? That's powerful right there. When you really hear that, let's do it again, because the ego probably skipped over that, because it's too easy. Let's go again. I'm talking to your higher self right now. Mind is the master power that molds and makes. And man is mind, and evermore he takes, the tool of thought, and shaping what he wills, bring forth 1,000 joys, or you can bring forth 1,000 ills. He thinks in secret, and it comes to pass. Environment, what is his looking glass? And what does that mean? Is someone just joined now? I just got that in the ether. Someone destroyed the video. To rewind it, but it means your environment, whatever, how you're living right now, whatever it is, you don't like it, change you, change your thinking. And I'll say it again, the Greek word, metanoia. What does that mean? Think again. Let's get to it. All right. Thought and character, James Allen. All right. No, excuse me. Let's get to this part. The fourth. I don't know, I usually don't read it, but hey, I'm going to read this. This little volume, the result of meditation experience, is not intended as an exhaustive treatise on the much written upon subject of the power of thought. It is suggestive rather than explanatory, its object being to stimulate men and women to discovery and perception of the truth that they themselves are makers of themselves by virtue of thoughts, which they choose and encourage. That mind is the master weaver, both of the inner garment of character and the outer garment of circumstance, and that as they may have hitherto woven in ignorance and pain, they may now weave in enlightenment and happiness. James L. Broad Park Avenue, Ilfracombe, England. I don't know why I had to read that. Just flow with it. I don't know why. All right. Be without the seed, so every act of a man springs from the hidden seeds of thought, and could not have appeared without them. This applies equally to those acts called spontaneous and unpremeditated, as to those which are deliberately executed, as it the blossom of thought and joy and suffering are its fruits. Thus does a man garner in the sweet and bitter fruitage of his own husbandry. Thought in the mind made us. What we are by thought was brought and built. If a man's mind hates evil thoughts, pain comes on him as the wheel of ox behind. If one enjoy impurity of thought, joy follows him as his own shadow. Sure, man is a growth by law and not a creation by artifact. artifice, and cause and effect is absolute and undeviating in the hidden realm of thought as in the world of visible and material things. A noble and godlike character is not a thing of favor or chance, but it is the natural result of continued effort in the right thinking, the effort of long cherished association with godlike thoughts, and ignoble and bestowed character by the same process is a result of the continued harboring of groveling thoughts. Man is made or unmade by himself. In the armory of thought, he forges the weapons by which he destroys himself. He also fashions the tools with which he builds for himself heavenly mansions of joy and strength and peace. By the right choice and true application of thought, a man ascends to the divine perfection. By the abuse and wrong application of thought, he descends below the level of the beast. Between these two extremes are all the grades of character, and man is the maker and master of all beautiful truth pertaining to the soul, which been restored and brought to life in this age. None is more gladdening or fruitful of divine purpose and confidence than this. The man is the master of thought, the molder of character, and the maker and shaper of condition, environment, and destiny. As being of power, intelligence, and love, the Lord of his own thoughts, man holds the key to every situation and contains within himself the transformation and regenerative agency by which he may make himself what he will. Man is always the master, even in his weaker and most abandoned state, but in his weakness and degradation, he is the fullest master who misgoverns his household. When he begins to reflect upon his condition and to search diligently for the law upon which his being is established, he then becomes the wise master, directing his energies with intelligence and fashioning his thoughts to fruitful issues, such as the conscious master. The man can only thus become by discovering within himself the laws of thought, which discovery is totally a master plan, self-analysis, and experience. I got to remember that God and Spirit just came through right now. Yes, it's great to always improve, that's true. But also Spirit said, be in that moment and don't get caught up also in just improvement, and then you don't take the time, take a deep breath, to breathe in this moment right now that you're in, wherever you are. Stop, pause, take a breath, hold it from the diaphragm, let it out. Feel all of it. Only by much searching and mining are gold and diamonds obtained, and man can find every truth connected with his being. He will dig deep into the mind of his soul, and that he is the maker of his character, the molder of his life, and the builder of his destiny. He may unerringly prove if he will watch, control, and alter his thoughts, tracing their effects upon himself, upon others, upon his life, and circumstances, linking cause and effect by patient practice and investigation, and utilizing his every experience, even to the most trivial everyday occurrence, as a means of attaining the knowledge of himself, which is understanding wisdom. Power in this direction, as in no other, is the law absolute, that he that seeketh findeth, to him that knocketh it shall be opened. For only by patience, practice, and ceaseless importunity can a man enter the door of the temple of knowledge. That thought of certainty. Man's mind may be linked to a garden which may be intelligently cultivated or allowed to run wild, but whether cultivated or neglected, it must and will bring forth. If no useful seeds are put into it, then an abundance of useless weed seeds will fall therein, and will continue to produce their kind. Just as a gardener cultivates his plot, cultivate your mind, the thoughts. every day. I think it's even more than this, but I don't know, scientist or one of those said that 1,000 thoughts a day or more. Alright, I'll go back. Here's the last thing was, just as a gardener cultivates his plot, keeping it free from weeds and growing the flowers and fruits which he requires, so may a man tend to the garden of his mind, weeding out all the wrong, useless, and impure thoughts and cultivating toward perfection the flowers and fruits of right, useful, and pure thoughts. By pursuing this process, a man sooner or later discovers that he is the master gardener of his soul, the director of his life. He also reveals within himself the laws of thought and understands with ever-increasing accuracy how the thought forces and mind elements operate in the shaping of his character, circumstances, and destiny. Thought and character are one, and as character can only manifest and discover itself through environment and circumstance, the outer conditions of a person's life will always be found to be harmoniously related to his inner state. This does not mean that man's circumstances at any given time are indication of his entire character, but that those circumstances are so intimately connected with some vital thought element within himself that for the time being they are indispensable to his development. Every man is where he is by the law of his being. The thoughts which he has built into his character have brought him there. And in the arrangement of his life, there is no element of chance, but all is the result of a law for which cannot err. This was written back in 1902. Bear with me. This is just as true of those who feel out of harmony with their surroundings as of those who are contented with them. As a progressive and evolving being, man is where he is, that he may learn, that he may grow. And as he learns the spiritual lesson which any circumstance contains for him, it passes away and gives place to other circumstances. Man is buffeted by circumstances so long as he believes himself to be the creature of outside conditions. But when he realizes that he is a creative power and that he may command the hidden soil and seeds of his beginning out of which circumstances grow, he then becomes the rightful master of himself. The circumstances grow out of thought. Every man knows who has for any length of time practiced self-control and self-purification, for he will have noticed that the alteration of his circumstances has been in exact ratio with his altered mental condition. So true is this that when a man earnestly applies himself to remedy the defects in his character and make swift and marked progress, he passes rapidly through a succession of vicissitudes. Soul attracts that which it secretly harbors, that which it loves, and also that which it fears. It reaches the height of its cherished aspirations, it falls to the level of its unchastened desires, and circumstances are the means by which the soul receives its own. Every thought, seed sown, are allowed to fall into the mind and to take root there, produces its own blossoming sooner or later in act and bearing or is fruited. This is what I've learned from experience. It's because a doctor, whatever, tells you you have this diagnosis. It's your business to let that have you or not have you. What do I mean? You can say, no, I don't believe it. I'm just going to put that positive out. And I'm a living experience of that. Why not? You see the results. So it can work for you too. But you have to know that in your soul, deep in your being, in the unconscious, subconscious mind. So don't just take some diagnosis way back when you were younger and say, well, I'll believe that. I'll take that. Because if you do, you're going to take whatever comes with that. The pain, the emotional pain, whatever it is. All right, here we go. let me read this part here. Every thought seed sown or allowed to fall into the mind and to take root there, producing its own blossoming sooner or later into act, and bearing its own fruitage of opportunity and circumstance. Good thoughts bear good fruit, bad thoughts bad fruit. The outer world of circumstance shapes itself to the inner world of thought, and both pleasant and unpleasant external conditions are factors which make for the ultimate good of the individual. As the reaper of his own harvest, man learns both by suffering and bliss, following the inmost desires, aspirations, and thoughts by which he allows himself to be dominated, pursuing those will or those whiffs of impure imaginings, or steadfastly walking the highway of strong and high endeavor. A man at last arrives at the fruition and fulfillment in the outer conditions of his life. The laws of growth and adjustment everywhere obtained. A man does not come to the almost house or the jail by the tyranny of fate or circumstance, but by the pathway of groveling thoughts and base desires. Nor does a pure-minded man fall suddenly into crime by stress of any merely external force. The criminal thought had long been secretly fostered in the heart. The hour up to be revealed is gathered power. Circumstances does not make the man, it reveals him to himself. No such conditions can exist. Let me see if you can see that sun. There we go. Beautiful. And a man does not come to almost house. Excuse me. I already read that part. Circumstances does not make the man, it reveals himself. No such condition exists in descending into vice and attended sufferings, apart from vicious inclinations, or ascending into virtue and its pure happiness without the condition, cultivation of virtuous aspiration. And man, therefore, as the Lord and the master of thought, is the maker of himself, the shaper and author of environment. Even at birth, the soul comes to its own thought. Every step of its earthly pilgrim, it attracts the combination of conditions which reveal itself, which are the reflections of its own purity and impurity, its strength and weakness. That's the truth I'm putting out there. Whatever dream, doesn't matter how impossible it seems to you right now. I'm putting, as you look at that sun, connecting with that sun of rock in Egypt, at 10 verse only. And I am King Solomon, I speak of that blessing of that sun to burn anything away inside of your being on the thought patterns, overthinking, thinking you're fat, and I don't know, I just got that, someone thinks they're fat. All of those bullshit ideas into that sun, and it's washing it away right now with the power inside of me and all my angels, spirit guides that cannot be in the way. And amazing blessings come out the woodwork for you that are used by divine right that you forgot about way back from even a little kid that you put out there. Those seeds when you were 5 years old, those dreams. And that's what I come to fruition right now as I do this video at this moment right here and now. Look at the rest. And let that energy, healing, beautiful energy. Okay, now here we go. Men do not attract that which they want, but which they are. Their whims, fancies, ambitions are fancy, I don't know. Thwarted at every step. But their inmost thoughts and desires are fed with their own food, eaten foul or clean. The divinity that shapes or ends is in ourself. It is our very self. Only himself manacles man. Thought and action are the goyos of fate. They imprison being base. They are also the angels of freedom. They liberate being noble. Not what he wishes and prays for does a man get, but what he justly earns. His wishes and prayers are only gratified and answered when they harmonize with his thoughts and actions. In the light of this truth, what then is the meaning of fighting against circumstances? It means that a man is continually revolting against an effect without, while at the time he is nourishing and preserving its cause in his heart. That cause may take the form of a conscious vice or unconscious weakness, but whatever it is, stubbornly retards the efforts of its possession, and thus calls aloud for remedy. Men are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves. Let's say that again. Men are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves. Let's say that again. Men are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves. They therefore remain bound. The man who does not shrink from self, crucifixion, can never fail to accomplish the objective upon which his heart is set. This is a true of earthly, of heavenly things. Even the man whose sole objective is to acquire wealth must be prepared to make great personal sacrifices before he can accomplish his object. And how much more so he would realize a strong and well-poised life. Question mark. Here's a man who is wretchedly poor. He is extremely anxious that his surroundings and home comforts should be improved. Yet all the time he shirks his work, considers he is justified in trying to deceive his employer on the ground of the insufficiency of his wages. Such a man does not understand the simplest rudiments of those principles which are the basis of true prosperity, and is not only totally unfitted to rise out of his wretchedness, but is actually attracting to himself a still deeper wretchedness by dwelling in and acting out indolent, deceptive, and unmanly thoughts. Here is a rich man who is the victim of a painful and persistent disease as a result of gluttony. He is willing to give large sums of money to get rid of it, but he will not sacrifice his gluttony's desires. He wants to gratify his taste for rich and unnatural viands and have his health as well. Such a man is totally unfit to have health because he has not yet learned the first principle of a healthy life. Here's an employer of labor who adopts crooked measures to avoid paying the regulation wage, and in the hope of making larger profits, reduces the wages of his workplace. Such a man altogether unfitted for prosperity, and when he finds himself bankrupt, both as regards reputation and riches, he blames circumstance, not knowing that he is the sole author of his condition. I have introduced these three cases merely as an illustration of the truth that the man is the causer. Thought nearly always is unconsciously. Thought nearly always is unconsciously of his circumstance, and that, whilst I'm aiming at a good end, he is continually frustrating its accomplishment by encouraging thoughts and desires which cannot possibly harmonize with the end. Such cases could be multiplied and varied almost indefinitely, but this is not necessary, as the reader can, if he so resolves, trace the action of the laws of thought in his own mind and life, and until this is done, mere external facts cannot serve as a ground of reasoning. So let's see, hopefully the sun will come up more 30 minutes into it. And again, this is the book. I got it on Amazon. And you keep it real. If I wasn't listening to Reverend Ike, I would have never known who this man was. Just keeping it 100. Always. I'm just having a cup of coffee. Espresso. Cup to you where we are around the world. And anybody new, if I didn't say, this is the famous Espresso Conversations. If you like to hear self-accountability, man, call himself on his bullshit, then you like your channel. Yeah, overgiving, it's hard for me, because I have a huge heart. I want everyone to win. In reality, some people make it hard for you to even energetically be there for them, or even root for them. But you can always root from the distance. What? The one person you always need to root for is yourself. And I don't like the word vain and all that, because it got misconstrued along the way, my perspective. Because if you really have self-value, self-respect, self-love, you can do anything in life. The ones that don't like this life, it's because at the core of their being in the unconscious subconscious mind, they don't like themselves. They hate it. They have self-hate. That's what I've noticed in life from many people I've met along this life. My goal is to, maybe I'll in heaven, I'll know. Well, heaven's right here. But what I'm saying, on the other side, whatever, on the other side. Wherever my conscience brings me out after this. I am changing a billion people's lives for the better. It already happened, so it is. Thank you, Father, and nothing can stop that. But through the blood of Christ inside of me, thank you, Father. And that's my goal. Do I know if I will probably obtain it on this earth? Probably not. But hey, but why not? Why not put it out there? I'm sending, of course, great King Solomon riches and blessings from Egypt coming down from heaven. They're coming to me to send to you. If you want, you don't want it, don't take it. But just enjoy this moment and let the water calm you. Hear the ocean. The wind is not as bad, so hopefully you can hear me. If I'm yelling, it's because of the wind. I just want to be over the wind. But I learned this, that when I do a video and the wind is overtaking, that's God in the universe saying, hey, we're here. And I can't do nothing about that. So if that's ever in the video, hey, I can't do nothing. That's Mother Nature. I'm going to try sending, another, I like a mic for podcasting and all that. It's coming very soon, so thanks to my mentor that told me about it. I'm going to try it out and see how it goes. And that's all you can do in life, is try it out. Spirit says, try it out. Spirit said, try it out. Spirit said, try it out. Whatever it is for your life. Be here. All the problems go. Any of the problems with your boyfriend, with your girlfriend, any of it. All the problems with just inside yourself if you don't have any. All the problems with your family, siblings, mother and father. What I can say is, for me, family is everything. Like, every moment you're with them, you never know when in life when it's your last. So just appreciate every moment, soak up every minute moment, every nanosecond we're on this beautiful earth. I believe it's beautiful. Sure, there's stuff in the world that I would love to, that it wouldn't be. But I can do what I can. But then there's a polarity. There's the good and the bad, whatever we want to call the bad, the good, whatever. It's a polarity. And where are you? Are you in between? I'm just in between, sitting here. Just enjoying it. Not thinking about anything. Just letting soak in all of that water into your unconscious, subconscious. Let it all go into there. And you'll be surprised when you wake up every day. Like today, what is it? Saturday to be successful Saturday. That's what I call Saturday. And also, I like spectacular Saturday. Every day you can put a positive statement on it. It's still good. That's the real success. Really. Feel good at you. Feel the health of you. You got the health, you got the wealth. That's all where it starts. Healthy mind, healthy thought. Healthy body. Good. Everyone gets upset angry at times. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I learned to channel it better and think before I say something that could really hurt someone. Because sometimes I would do that on the unconscious, subconscious mind, because that was a program that was run. See, I'm bringing that program to the forefront. But when when you recognize your pattern, that's a beautiful thing. And if any of you are recognizing your patterns, beautiful. That's beautiful. Now you can change that. Because if you can't recognize it, and some patterns, I'm gonna be real, you have to have your best friend or your real good friend, they will see it for you. And if they're a real true friend, they'll call it out for you so you can see it. But don't get upset with it. They're just doing that so you can see it, because sometimes we're in it like this. Like I was in my condition all the time. So on that lion tiger, I'm busy roaring in light that I can't even see, because like people say, "Oh, you're superhuman." I said, "I'm just a warrior that fights for it to live, and still I fight the mind, fight the enemy within, those intrusive thoughts, those patterns." Yeah, I got frustrated too at times. I was like, "Why do I keep doing these patterns?" And then I said, "Okay, I'm going back to present to me. Okay, I'm giving myself unconditional love. I'm giving myself self-compassion, self-grace, spiritually. Okay, let's give myself grace. I'm grateful I can share this with you, even if it's just energetically right now, sharing this moment." Yeah. Sun was rising, but then it's just hiding away a little bit. Spirit said that's what we do sometimes. We hide away in our own world at times. There's nothing wrong, but Spirit saying, come out of that world, come out of that comfort zone. Look, it might be as simple, someone out there, you wanted to learn a cooking class, someone, take that, and you're going to meet strangers, and you don't know, you might have a really great time, have fun. And I'm working on that too, because, it's not easy being shy and introverted and weird and all that. So I'm learning too to step out there. I haven't done as much as, I would like to. It's a process, but I'm being patient with myself, compassionate with myself. The right people, the right high vibes, I like to be on. The like-minded. Just feel that. Even those, the birds flying there, that's a remarkable thing. Some people would like shoot the birds away. I'm thinking, well, why would you even do that? I mean, I don't know about this because I don't know. But some cultures just think all the birds are spirit forms. That's what, I don't know. That's what some philosophers believe way back. I don't know. I'm just here. That's all I know. I'm just here. That's it. Simple guy, enjoying. That's it. Everything in life is simple. The mind will always make it more complicated than it has to be. Say that again. Everything in life is simple. The mind will overcomplicate it and thinking it has to be harder than it has to because it's just too simple. Have you ever noticed that? I've noticed it in my life, you probably have too. That when it's simple, you ignore it, but then later on you go back to it, oh my God, that was so simple, I could have done that 6 months ago, or I could have done that, whatever. Yeah, but be compassionate with you. It's okay. That's one thing we're all learning. I don't care who you are, we're all learning in this thing called life. We're just all put here, hey, fend for yourself. When you start to learn, you fend for yourself, and then you're like, okay, now I'm bringing this one to experience. Why? Because you just attracted that through who you are. And that's cool. This video is a little bit longer. For some reason, you're having me on here longer. I know someone's wanting to go in that towel right now. Don't do that. Keep going. Don't you give up on yourself. You're too important to this world. I don't know who needs that. Someone needs that right now. When I was early in my journey, I was always been a prophet, always saying weird things and things always happen. And I was uncomfortable with it, to be honest, my whole life. I used to say, and people come back, oh yeah, that happened. And I was never surprised because I knew God. It's not arrogance, it's just I knew that. And it was a lonely, weird place, especially as a kid. Didn't fit in anywhere. But I could hang with everyone. That's the weird thing. I could hang with any group. Because I look at everyone like, hey, that kid is doing peace. Let me go show him or her a kind word. Instead of everyone else just throwing on to him. No, let me try to understand. And you don't even understand how much they appreciate that. You never know, like those people are the ones that, let's be real, they're gonna be the boss of those people that were being rude to them and cashing, and holding their check for them. That's weird. That's funny how life works like that. Life is really amazing when you come down to it. And don't think just because you're at the beach. If you got mountains or you got a hiking trail, go out that nature, breathe that air, and whatever it is, or it's just a little lake by your house or a pond. Why water? Because water is a calming effect on the soul. That's what I've learned. Some don't like water. Okay, you don't like water. Well, you go to the mountains. Like the mountains, or go to the forest. I like all of it. And then it's so early that, look, I'll be quiet, but you'll see. That's how early we are here today. I'm just grateful to be alive. I shouldn't be, but there's a reason why I am. It's obviously because I'm talking to all you right now. That might not look the right English, but yeah, not talking to everyone. How about that? This one I say, the universe. Like, for example, I want something to manifest, and I say, universe, okay, show me those two birds. Wherever I go, universe, show me those two birds. And I'm not joking. Those two birds show right up, right away. And then you know your manifestation is there. It's to keep going. It's not going to always be easy. There's going to be times you want to quit. But at those times, look inside and just feel grateful that you woke up. Because if we don't wake up, nothing else can start. If we can't wake up in the day, well, obviously we'll be on the other side. So don't take that for granted that you woke up. Or that you can go get a Starbucks, like whatever it is, coffee. Some people will never be able to get that because they can't afford that. And that's neither wrong or right. That's just everyone's thoughts, patterns, and who they hang with, and what they believe is what they're going to see. So I encourage you, why not have the best life possible for you and your family or your future family or whatever it is, or soul family. Why not? It's amazing how I never thought I would see this to be real. To be near death 13 times in the hospital for 6 months. I was in the hospital for 6 months that it took where, I'll be real, this is vulnerable. I couldn't even go out to dinner because I wanted to go back to the hospital because that was my home, because I was afraid to be out in the public because I was so sick. I didn't feel well. And then with the medications I was taking at the time, I would eat the food and I'd get outside to eat it. And then when I would get the food ready to come to the table, then my appetite was gone. And be so frustrated. My mom, she didn't understand, but she talked to her doctor later. It's like, it's because of that medication. He's trying to eat, but he can't because the medication messes with you like that. So don't take that for granted. Taste that food. Taste it, every morsel of it. Be mindful of it. What do I mean? When you eat that, say, I'm grateful. Oh, look at that beautiful sun. See that? It's beautiful. There we go. Now it's sun rising. It's beautiful. And I get to circulate my time with you right now on this video. Man, that's wonderful. Also, in money, have you noticed in society they say spend everywhere, cross that out. Instead, put circulate. Why? Circulate comes back. Spend is gone. And a lot of, they know that. That's why it's out there. I'm just saying, in life, you'll see that everywhere. Everyone would say the word spin. One of the rare ones that will be real and say circulate instead. I learned that. I didn't always know that. There's more than enough for me, for you, for everyone on this earth. This is an abundant earth. Why be limited? Only limited the thoughts of the mind that you keep depositing in there, and then your experience of it. So change your thought. Metanoia, the Greek word again. Change your thought. Think a new thought. This is really beautiful. This is a very beautiful moment right now for me and for you. I'm grateful to share it. You know, if you're taking it, if you want it. If you don't want it, don't take it. I don't force anyone doing this or business. Just love you. The only one of you. Remember that. That's what makes you. That's what makes a superstar of you. You. When you come down to a superstar life, most want it, but most won't sacrifice what it takes to get it. You hear what I said? Most want that superstar life, but won't sacrifice what it takes to get it. What does that mean? Well, everyone is a superstar just because they're famous, they're celebrity, all that. But their soul signed up for that. They wanted it, but they a lot of them, they did hard work. They put that out there. They thought that they were the superstar. Of course, it would come from the thought. But in my opinion, then your life is not your own. Everywhere you go, you're under a microscope. I'd rather be a superstar and be unknown but a superstar. Fine, things, but unknown, and live my life. I know it's weird. And I would be known, but I would stick to myself and the ones that I know, myself, and real friends. Because remember that, when you're super successful, a lot of people can come out the woodwork all of a sudden. You got a lot of money all of a sudden. Oh, you remember me? Oh yeah, hey, remember me from kindergarten? No. And they used to tease you back then? No. It's cool. And I never, wish ill on them. No. Go with Dios. But just be aware of that. Some of you are experiencing that now. A lot of you that you thought were real friends, they're there because you were successful, but then now your business is not doing as well or whatever, and see how many are there. I'm just talking facts. I'm not, But this is my perspective too. Let me be clear. This is what I've learned. Now you want to and partake of it? Great. This is coming up to almost an hour. It's 52 minutes. So I think it's long enough. So have a beautiful day and keep going. And I love inspiring you guys. I really do. Have a beautiful night or day, whenever you are. Remember, you are the most amazing, beautiful, phenomenal, infinite, unlimited being on this earth. But you have to know that. Have it.